Being human. Do you ever wonder what makes us who we are? Our habits, preferences, or where we came from? We are expressing ourselves in thousands of ways every day through our choices. Let's have a conversation with people who are having interesting lives. My name is Alun Walker. I'm a doctor of chiropractic and a human being. Welcome to the latest podcast of Being Human. Today we've got a wonderful guest, a friend of mine I've known now for probably 11 years. Someone who's got a very, very interesting story. Someone who's seen a lot of life, a lot of change, and has fought and conquered things that most people have never experienced. Very pleased to say a very good friend of mine, Joop Stringer. So welcome Yope to the podcast of Being Human. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, if that's all right, Yope. I'm interested in your sort of family and your beginnings, and then later on I'll be interested in knowing more about your background and what you do as a profession, which both you and I know you're a chiropractor and a very successful one. But you're not one from the UK. So if it's all right with you, do you want to? I'll pass across to you and just a little bit about yourself and where you sort of come from and where you live.
Okay.
That'd be great for me.
Yeah, where I live, like you told me, I'm not from the UK. My last name sounds British, and it seemed to be British as what my grandmother looked for in all kind of documents, and we come somewhere from the UK. So,
from the UK?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. Whereabouts?
I don't know.
Well,
anyway, we seem to have some heritage there.
Yeah. I'm originally from Birkenhead, which a place I actually really like, but I try and keep that to myself. It saves people from buying locking nuts for their alloys.
Yeah. Anyway, I live in the Netherlands. You most probably know on the other side of this little bit of water. And I live there together with my wife, a dog, and a cat at the moment.
Yeah, I have a cat. I have a cat as well, Yope, and I quite enjoy at the moment being woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sort of, an hour's break, and then 5 o'clock, and so it goes on. Yeah, so but I'm looking forward. The cat's only on a borrow at the moment. It's going to go to its owner very shortly.
Okay.
I can get my sleep.
Enjoy the time after.
Yeah.
Okay. So almost 60. So I've seen a bit of the world. I've lived my whole life in the Netherlands, so nothing special there. I grew up as the son of a butcher.
A butcher?
Yeah, my father was a butcher, and he carried around half a cow on his back to the butcher shop and stuff. It was amazing to see him do it.
Yeah, so he's a big dude. You were a big dude at one time. You were a very big guy, very big, strong.
Yeah, I was a bit heavy a
long
while ago.
How much heavier were you?
In my good times, 98 kilos.
Okay.
I don't know what that's in stones, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, 16, 17 stone. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Unfortunately, that's about my weight. Yeah. I'm not looking to lose anything either at the moment. Not at all. So yourself, anyway. And your mother, what sort of work did she do?
My mother was a house mother, and she did a lot of the chores in the house, and she did a little bit of like in little shops. She worked as a clerk. How do you call it? Yeah.
Okay.
Just selling stuff like towels and that kind of stuff.
And do you have any children?
I have 2 children. My daughter is Kimberly. She is 31, and my son is Dennis. He is 30, and he at the moment is in Australia for a year, so he's almost coming back now.
What's he doing in Australia?
Traveling around, doing his job. He's a carpenter.
Okay.
And he's driving around with a little van, Mitsubishi van. He changed it into a camper.
Nice. He's living the life that you wish you were living.
Sure. And that's why we are building a camper at the moment as well. So.
A Volkswagen?
Now we have a big Renault Master van.
Okay. I have a very
And
small Mazda Bongo, I'm embarrassed to say, but I
ah,
love it.
ah,
Yeah, so I'm
ah,
doing a bit of travelling around myself. And then,
yeah.
and do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have two younger brothers and a younger sister.
Chiropractors?
No, not at all. One is doing the military. My other brother is a tax advisor, and my sister is working for a bank.
Okay. You moved to the Netherlands where did you moved to the north of the Netherlands? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah. When I was 12 years old, I lived in Haarlem near Amsterdam.
Okay.
And at 12, my father got a job a little bit more up north in the Netherlands, and then they decided we should move.
And it's a nice.
And
I mean, Harlem's a nice place. I mean, it's
yeah,
not like Harlem, New York, but it's a Harlem, New York.
no,
But certainly is. I visited there, as you know. I came
yeah,
to your
yeah,
wonderful wedding not too long ago, and I thought it was an absolutely fantastic place. What a
yeah.
beautiful place that is.
It
Um,
is beautiful.
what sort of work have you done in the past? Obviously, you've had a
Um,
previous experience of other things before
yeah,
you became a chiropractor.
yeah. I started off as an electrician, doing normal household installations. Then I needed to go to the military service, and there I got acquainted with computers because I didn't know anything about it, except that you can do a lot of games on them, but that was it.
Okay,
And
so very.
then
Sorry,
I started helping other people in the building where we stayed. Like in that time, you had We're Perfect. I don't know if you still know that.
yeah, I remember Word Perfect.
The,
Yeah,
the blue screen and the yellow letters.
yeah, yeah.
That
That's
was
that.
a long time ago.
Yeah, Word Perfect. Was that on a Mac? Have you always used Macs?
No, there was Windows
Was it?
computers.
It was a Windows one. Which
Yeah,
one was it?
yeah.
Just out of interest, I just want to go back in time a little bit.
I think it was an IBM 86 or something, 8086 computer.
Yeah, Windows
We
98,
had
something like that.
no Windows 3.0 or something.
Well, you're a little bit older than me, but it's good to go back to them
Yeah,
sort of days.
yeah.
And then
We
after,
had
go on, sorry.
we had Windows, but we couldn't open them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, lots of noises, but not much going on. Yeah, I remember it
Yes.
well. And then
Yeah.
with it, being an electrician, what sort of things, you said you moved into sales, didn't you, at some time?
I did do a little bit of sales of these computers because I was working for an IBM dealer in that time and trying to sell like yeah, IBM PCs, which were about 12 grand.
Okay. Yeah, so it's big money then
Yeah,
for a very crappy computer, I expect.
for a very crappy computer. My phone at the moment has more more memory storage and power than the PCs at that time.
Yeah, it's incredible how things have changed. And what made
Yeah.
you, with the profession, you were happy with the profession? What sort of things changed to make you become and to do the things that you're doing today? Were you unhappy doing that sort of work, or
Yeah.
what happened to you? What happened in your life?
It was a long story. About 25 years I spent in IT. I did very big jobs for government and insurance companies and banks. Try to incorporate all their legacy systems into the new world.
You're responsible for
And
that, are you? I see.
yes, I was the Y2K bug. Yes, yes.
And were you happy with that work?
In the beginning, yes, because then we could do a lot of creative stuff and talking to clients about what they actually want and help them through the workshops in their new systems. I traveled around Europe for a Japanese company, and created a sales information system,
Okay.
which I then was implementing in every major city. So that was nice, traveling around, seeing a lot of planes, seeing a lot of hotels. But after a while, you get a little bit fed up. And I was doing basically only the contract negotiations, and that was it was not creative anymore. I didn't have any, how do you call it, positive feedback from it.
Okay.
And then I decided that I wanted to do something else, but I didn't know what. Uh, and then I met my current wife, who you know.
Yeah.
And friends of her are she is a McTimony chiropractor.
What, your wife's a McTimony
No,
chiropractor?
no, no, no. Our friends.
Okay, okay. And your
My
wife,
wife
what?
is a homeopath.
Yeah, of course she is, and she's made
Yeah,
a huge impact on your life, and that's
she did.
more than. I mean, every wife is making an impact on her husband, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But
Mhm.
what Helena's done with yourself has been, with the story I know, is it's actually life changing. So you
It
met a
was.
McTimony chiropractor, and what
Yeah.
happened there?
And she said, "Well, you know what chiropractic is?" And I said, "Yeah, bone cracking." And she said,
Yeah,
"Well, calm down, and I will give you a McTimony chiropractic treatment." And I lay down on the bench, and I didn't know what it was. And she did her little Lysa flicks with her hands,
yeah.
and she said, "Oh, I'm done." And I was like, "What have you done? You barely touched me." And
Well, the
then
thing,
I was sitting on the end of the bench, and I felt all energy in my body flowing, and it was amazing.
yeah. Well, you're very much like me. That was with my first treatment with the McTimony chiropractic was very much the same. I was like, I'm not sure whether I've wasted my time with this.
Mm. Mm.
But that night, by the time I'd got back into my bedroom,
Mm.
I felt like I'd been hit by a bulldozer. So
Yeah.
yeah, that I knew something massive had just changed in my body,
Yeah.
and that was the beginning of understanding that it was going to be a long process. It's not about the magic of one treatment. It's actually the beginning of
Yeah.
many, and a journey of your
Yeah.
body healing. And I don't know if I guess that's
Absolutely.
the same with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was basically the start. And 2 weeks later, I was in McTimony College in Abingdon for my access course.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you have your interview with at the university?
I did a interview on by phone because I lived here and I didn't had time to come.
Okay.
So I think I spoke to Val at that time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
And
you made a decision to join a university that was in a
yeah,
different country,
yeah,
where you would be. Were you working at the time, or were you just full? Were
yeah,
you?
full time working.
And so, in you were then every minute you could, you were traveling, jumping on a plane,
Yeah.
and flying over to where would you fly to? Luton or
Luton, yeah, Luton Airport, and
hire a
then
hire a car?
rent a car, and then driving up the what is it, M1?
Yeah, just absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
It's a massive investment of time and money that you went through for basically one treatment, and that made
yeah,
some type of life changing decision for you. It's
yeah, yeah. It
how
was
often does that
amazing,
happen?
and
It's very
not many times, I think.
no. Well, it happened very similar for me. I went across to see my
Yeah.
mother. My mother lives in St. Louis, and
Mhm.
I'd had chiropractic since I was 20. When I damaged my back fairly severely, I damaged the disc at
Mhm.
L5S1, which is basically the very first disc on top of the spine, at the
Yeah,
bottom of the spine on top of the
yeah,
pelvis. And I had lots and lots of chiropractic care over many years to keep me going, keep me moving, so I could do the heavy work I was doing at the time. But I went across to see my mother, and I'd been working very, very long and hard shifts, sometimes
Mhm.
back-to-back shifts, to try and make ends meet, and especially getting some invoices in and getting payments before I flew across to America, so I could actually pay wages
Oh,
for people.
okay.
And while I was there, I remember waking up the following morning in St. Louis, where my mother lived, and I just couldn't get out of bed for breakfast with everybody, and I really struggled. I remember going down the stairs on my bum. And my mother said, "Well, you come and see come and see our chiropractor, Dr. Ray, in St. Louis," which is what we did. And he said, "Look, you've got a lot of different things." He looked all the way through my history and
Mhm.
made a decision that what he was going to do was to offer me some relief. But he gave me a prescription, and I thought it was going to be a prescription of drugs. But what he gave me was a prescription of going to see a chiropractor in the UK, and
Mhm.
to actually sign on for some care, which would take
Okay.
me which would change my mind about chiropractic and suddenly filled me with a joy and made me realise it's time for a change. And I did a very similar thing. While I was in America, I was only there for 10 days. I also organised my interview. It had a massive impact on me, just like you. I organised my interview with the university in Abingdon. And the rest, just like you, the rest is history. You know, it's completely changed my life, my world, family, everything has been changed, all for the positive.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yeah, so with yourself, have you challenges in your life? Have you had health situations?
No.
Have you?
Yeah, I had some health issues. Yes. One started in 2009 when I discovered that I had testicular cancer. At that time, I didn't know anything about natural health, innate intelligence, healing properties of the body. I didn't know anything about it. So I completely relied on the nurse, which was or the doctor at the end of the table.
Can I? Sorry, do you mind just explaining about you're saying about innate intelligence? What is that, Joop? What does that mean
Innate
to you?
intelligence for me is like the capabilities of your body to self-heal, self-restore, and self-recuperate from any stresses you put on your body.
Isn't that what tablets do?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people these days are totally reliant on some type of healthcare institution and medication to sort out their problems. But you're talking about the body heals itself?
Yeah. The power that made the body heals the body. You know that one?
I do know that one. But this is amazing. You know, it's one of those things where sometimes I have to explain, not very often, fortunately, but less often than it used to be, that when you break a bone, actually the plaster cast doesn't repair the bone. You know, it's that the body innate intelligence will repair the bone. If you cut your finger,
whenever you cut your hand. Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
my wife is interfering with the talk.
Usually it's cats and dogs or young children.
No, it's my wife. Anyway.
Yeah, so when
you cut your hand, you don't have to scream and shout to your hand. You need to heal. You need to heal.
Yeah, it's knows.
Doing it. The body knows.
I know it seems obvious, and anyone listening to this will be like, but we often forget it's that the body will actually heal itself. It's designed to do that. Does it does it with all animals, with all living things.
Yeah, so normally it does. It only takes sometimes longer than with a potion or a pill or whatever.
Yeah, but at least it does it properly.
If you take a pill, it will slow down your pain signals in your brain, and you got the idea that there is nothing going on, or that your body is well and capable of doing stuff. But in fact, it's not.
Okay, beautifully explained.
Pain tells your body that there is something going on.
Yeah, and it can prevent you as well.
Take care of it.
Yeah. It can prevent you from doing the decorating.
Sure.
You know, it's meant to. When people hurt themselves, I think you'll agree that it's time to actually rest up a little bit and let the body heal. But no, take some tablets, get rid of the pain. Get the decorating done, the extra washing, take the curtains down. You're crazy. All
For
better
instance,
now.
Dig the tree out of the garden, whatever.
So with yourself, what was the highlights of being a student at University for Chiropractic?
The highlights. I still remember the first spring week we had.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I can remember dancing with you to the happy tune. I can't remember who sang it now. Being happy.
With our little, was it? Pina coladas made by our fellow Roger.
Yes, we had some very good times. I think it's very common for people going to university or college to actually spend time with other people who's having a similar situation. It's sharing experiences and often having a little drink and perhaps a party. And
no, it was good.
Yes,
the most interesting stuff, of course, is that you learn more about the body, about all the capabilities, but also about all the diseases and all the medication which you need to know, but I don't use anymore. But
yes,
at least we know.
So, if you don't mind me asking, you, what was the,
Mm.
testicular cancer? You know that
Mm.
that's not a fun thing to find out that you have. What happened? What did you do? How was it dealt with? How did
Yeah.
your healthcare system deal with it?
How did the medical staff deal with it was that they proposed an operation. So they want to take one ball away and give me a chemo treatment,
Right. Okay.
chemotherapy treatment. And that was all done in that was all done in a course of 3-4 days.
What
So
the
I didn't
decision was
have
made?
time. Yeah, yeah. I didn't
Wow.
have any time to think about it and think about what my body actually wants or needs or whatever. It was like, no, we're going to do this. This is the protocol. So we're gonna operate you, and then on Monday we're gonna do chemotherapy, and then it's all okay. That's what they
Okay.
said.
And was it?
Um, I didn't know. I thought it was. At that moment, I didn't have the cancer anymore in my body, I thought. And then with the chemotherapy, they told me like, yeah, if there was still one cell which was not okay, that would have been eradicated from my body.
Okay. Did chemo make you ill?
Yes, yeah. I only had two cases or two bags of chemotherapy, so not the heavier one. So I didn't lose any hair or that kind of stuff. The only thing is I was like very tired for a year long. So it took me really a year to get back on my energy levels.
Wow. Okay. And was
And
that
at
was
that time, I didn't take care of my body so well. So yeah, I was still doing a lot of sugar. I was still doing a lot of microwave, how do you call it, food and that kind of stuff.
okay? So what's how do you sort of deal with those type of things these days as far as food's
Hmm.
concerned? You know, with the
Hmm.
water you drink, the food you're eating, the salts, the
Yeah,
sugars.
yeah.
How do you go about being healthier?
I try to stay away from sugar as much as I can, but sometimes I'm just a sugar addict. I'm sorry to say, but I'm still am.
Well, it's an addiction, isn't it?
It
It's been
is.
designed to be an
Yeah.
addiction.
Yeah, yeah, because your brain doesn't have a barrier for the amount of sugar you take. For salt, it has, for sour, it has, but not for sugar.
So do you think of sugar as being an actual food, or do you think of it as being an addition to food?
It
Do you
is, if you look at the history and where we as humans come from, we had sugar once every now and then. If you take a beehive, you had sugar, but then you try to get as much sugar in your body as possible. So your body doesn't say, well, this is enough sugar. You can keep on eating sugar, and that's what is happening, and that's why a lot of people are sugar addictions.
yeah, say some people, most people, we could
A
say
lot of
the
people.
8 billion people.
Yeah,
It's I mean we're bred into it, aren't we? As soon as you take a child into a shop to buy groceries, the
yeah,
first thing the child looks at is all the sweeties that are at
yeah,
children's eye level. It's disgusting.
yeah. And it's if you go to the shop, where is the sweet section? It's at the cashier register,
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
are standing and waiting for your groceries to be paid, and you can make a selection out of gums and that kind of stuff. Like, it's really nice.
Well, it's been like that since the very first shop I ever remember,
Yeah.
which is there was a corner shop opposite where I was brought up,
Hmm.
and me and all my cousins would be crossing the road with a 50 pence and going in there. It was just after the
Yeah.
I'm old enough to know that it was brand new. Everyone was so excited about the new currency that we had, and
Mm.
but coming out of there with tons of sugar, and
Yeah.
that's my earliest memory. And here I am at 54 years old now, so it's
Hmm. Hmm.
and nothing's changed. And it just
Hmm.
makes when you're brought into something, a food product that I can't remember any other foods that I ate at that age.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know where I lived then, and I know the shop, and I
Yeah.
know that there was a time when I would have been 4 years old. So
Hmm.
the first exciting foods I remember was sugar.
Yeah. And also because everything with sugar was relatively cheap. And also my mom and dad didn't have so much money to spend with four kids. So as a child, we ate a lot of sugar.
Yeah. Well, don't. It's not their fault. It would have been the same
No,
for
it's
them.
not. Sure. No, it's true. I don't blame them, but
Okay.
it's like what the time was at that time.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what you didn't know. Let's say it this one.
So, how do you think that sugar? What's your belief on, or what do you know? What's been
Hmm.
researched? What have you read
Hmm.
about how sugar
Hmm.
affects things like cancer?
Sugar is like a carrier for cancer. So it takes nutrients to the cancer cells. So the more sugar you eat, the more vulnerable you are for cancer. And especially if you have it, it supplies energy to the cancer.
Yeah. So, is
So
it
that's
did?
what I did the second time uh, when I just got diagnosed with cancer. I just started with the McTimoney college. 2 months or 1 month after I got the diagnosis that I had a 5 centimeter tumor again on my left kidney, and then I changed my life completely.
So,
Then I eradicated sugar out of my diet. I didn't do any meat, any potatoes, any pastas, whatever.
well,
No.
I remember visiting you back in those days, and waking up looking forward to a great big fry up of good old
Yeah,
fashioned Netherlands
yeah,
food, bacon and
yeah,
eggs and everything
yeah.
else. And
What did you get? A green mustache?
yeah, I got a green moustache. I got a great big, huge pint full of spinach and
Yeah,
all sorts of broccoli and
yeah.
seaweed.
Spirulina, chlorellas.
Yeah, but ultimately, I recognised straight away that that you were using nutrition
Yeah,
instead of using chemicals, tablets,
yeah,
chemotherapy,
yeah.
to actually help yourself. But didn't you use something? Didn't you try other ways of dealing with the second bout of this problem?
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Helena is just coming in, so I was a
Yeah,
little bit distracted. Sorry.
yeah. I was just saying. Did hello, Elena?
She doesn't hear you because
Oh,
I
yeah,
have my
yeah, yeah.
headphones on.
Yes. So the didn't you use some other ways of dealing with this problem? Did you with
Yeah, I
other
did. I didn't
medication or?
go. Yeah, no, I didn't do any medication. Not the medical medication. Let's say it that way. I did a lot of homeopathic remedies. I did a lot of orthomolecular healthcare to get my body in the most optimal state to feed my innate intelligence and my self healing properties of the body.
Yeah, well, this is it's wonderful spending those days with you,
Hmm.
and you gave me what. But I'd go as far as to say maybe I wouldn't have carried on through university if I hadn't have seen you
Hmm.
in this diverse situation where you're really not just fighting with the travel aspects of traveling to a university in a different country, the
Hmm.
financial problems with that,
Hmm.
and also it's not always fun learning a master doing a master's degree at university. It's hard work, and then on
Yeah,
top of that, quite literally, no exaggeration, fighting for your life.
yeah. And the fun thing is you are constantly referring to fighting the cancer and fighting the stuff. And in the beginning, I did. I know we all I still have the T-shirt "Fuck Cancer."
Yes, yeah, I got them all printed, and we all wore them,
Yeah,
didn't we?
you've done it. You've done it. But in the beginning, I was actually like almost everybody was doing, fighting my cancer. But then again, I came to the conclusion like, who am I fighting or what am I fighting? I am fighting something which is in me. So in fact, I'm fighting myself. So what's the use of this? So then I changed my mind and my wording into like working on, trying to solve, that kind of words.
Yes, yeah.
Working together with my, yeah, it seems a bit like awkward. Working together with my cancer to solve it.
Yeah, so it comes down to the sort of definition of what is a cancer, what is happening.
Hmm.
It's on a cellular level, we have
Yeah.
some rogue parts of our body
Hmm.
that have been damaged somehow,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
acting in a different type of way. And a lot of people, yeah. So I mean, it was you who helped me think about it this way. And of course, being a chiropractor for these years, I've met an awful lot of people who have been fighting cancer,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's helped me deal with them by talking to them in that way. That this
Yeah.
is you've made a massive difference to how I deal with my clients. So,
Yeah.
did you was it cryogenic? Did you try any of the different
No.
types? You never
No,
tried
I
any of
did. I
this?
didn't. I didn't do cryogenic. I did a lot of therapies. I even did urine therapy. I don't know if you know what it is. Like
Yeah.
drinking a bit of your morning urine, because
Yes.
there is a lot of immune inflammation in that first bit of urine. So I did that for 3 months. Every morning I drank my own urine.
Yeah.
I did grass therapy. I did a raw food for a lot of time. I did raw food, eating raw. Um, no, okay, eradicating sugar, that kind of stuff, and trying to avoid stress as much as possible.
So stress.
But
That's
then again,
that's
stress and being on a master's degree in the UK with a full-time job,
yeah.
there was
That
some stress.
yes. And the course was for 5 years.
5.5. We did the access course
Yeah.
just before, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to learn how to massage somebody.
Yeah. So I've got to go back. You said that you were
Yeah,
drinking this morning urine, Yope, and
yeah,
I stayed with you, a couple of nights, and I woke
yeah.
up to this juice you made, and I'm just making sure that you didn't you didn't play a trick, you didn't play any tricks
No,
on
I
me.
didn't. I
Yeah.
did. I didn't play.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you was, what sort of things have how has chiropractic actually changed your life?
Hmm. On a superficial level, I created my own business.
Wow. So
After,
you have a
after,
clinic, or you're working in a
yeah,
garage?
no, yeah. No, I'm not doing like most of the UK chiropractors working out of a shed in the back. No,
Yeah.
I have a very nice clinic in close by here in Alkmaar. And I opened 2 years ago. I opened the second one a little further down the road.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. And it's
yeah.
not like that area of where you live is hasn't doesn't have chiropractors. There's a lot of chiropractors there, isn't it?
No, there are about 400 in the whole of the Netherlands. So then you can assume that chiropractic is not on mainstream medical mindset.
Well, that's
If
pretty
you,
much the same as here as well in the UK. I mean, it's not the
yeah,
first,
but
well, people will still go to see their GP if they,
yeah, yeah,
I occasionally still get new clients that come to see me, and they'll be like, "Oh well, you didn't do a magic one thing. I've had a
oh,
couple
yeah,
of adjustments and I'm not
yeah,
fixed yet. I'm going to go
yeah,
back to see my GP." It's like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
see if a tablet's going to move those joints for you. But anyway,
True,
that's
true.
it's one that you can't help everybody, can you?
No,
So it's
luckily not. I don't want to help anybody, everybody. Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
hope I can, but no,
yeah, well, it's not magic. We have to
no.
help people realize that the
Yeah,
responsibility is also with them
yeah,
and with their life choices as well, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Like we were talking before, like what I was doing with my filling instead of feeding my body.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. I'll be using that one if that's all right. Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Filling.
That's
So the
yeah.
definition, what you're talking about there.
Filling is just like eating stuff, basically stuffing food in your body, and not as such taking care of your body and give it the nutrients it needs to perform at the most optimal level.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've even got family members, they'll go, oh, we've missed the meal. So it's not going to be healthy not to eat. So we need to
Yeah,
go to McDonald's or we'll go Burger King. We're traveling
yeah,
there. It's like,
yeah,
hold on. It's quite
yeah,
healthy not to eat anything now. We just need
yeah,
a bit and then we can eat
yeah,
tomorrow morning. It's going to be
yeah.
fine. Well, we were
That,
starving. You're not
what
starving.
what
It's
do you
starvation.
do? Intermittent fasting is hot, of course, now. And basically, that's the way we were supposed to eat when we were hunting those elephants and dinosaurs. Or no, we didn't live together with the dinosaurs, but anyway.
I do know what you mean. There'd be days where we weren't eating regularly,
Yeah, yeah.
but the food we
And
were eating was good.
yes, and then you used your body and you used the fats in your body to burn and to give you energy to your muscles because you
Yeah.
needed to run after this elephant and dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly that. So one of the things I've noticed, I'd heard a little bit about it, and I thought I didn't do any research. I just looked at a few
Mhm.
photographs on the internet,
Yeah,
and what I was looking at was the black and white photos in the 70s of the outdoor swimming pools.
yeah,
And if you
yeah.
look at those outdoor pictures,
It's all
often in
slim
black and white,
people.
it's all slim people. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
what's changed? Because now it's nothing but larger people
What's
is the right
changed
way.
is we are sitting a lot, moving little, and eating garbage.
Yes, we are. Yeah, exactly that. So
Yeah.
you have two clinics at the moment, and
Yeah.
have you got any plans for any more?
My plan was a third one, but that will be, I think, in 2 years' time, not too fast now.
Okay,
Because it takes a lot of energy to build up both clinics. Especially now I have an associate working for me, a lady from New Zealand. She's helping me out in both clinics, and that works perfectly together. The only thing is, yeah, you need your time. You need to divide your time between both practices and your energy in both practices, and that takes time and energy. Yeah.
of course it does. So what's I was going to ask you about your plans for the future, but I guess your plans for the future at the moment is actually
S-
gradually moving towards that third clinic.
yeah, I don't know if that will come. It might be nice to have it, but my plan is basically in 5 years' time, I want to have another associate working for me, and that I can step back a little bit. Because then I'm 65 and I want to enjoy a little bit more of the world.
You can do a bit of traveling in that camper you're building.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Brilliant.
my plan. Yeah.
Well, do you know what, Yo? As always, it's been great speaking to you and
Thank you.
finding out a little bit more about your future plans and just going over the story again, which is it's amazing. It's an amazing story from well, I just think the strength that you have is incredible, and it really helped
Mhm.
me. Like I said, get through university. I thought if Yope can do this,
You can.
then I can do this. And I wouldn't have been the only one. I wouldn't have been the only one that said
Now
that.
I know that there are more in our class who struggled, but me too, I struggled as well, and I'm so glad that I met you and all the other fellows in our class.
Yeah, in the good old fashioned and blighty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, it's been amazing having you on. I really appreciate your time, Yope, and
Thank you very much.
all the best for the future with everything that you're doing and the camper and your
Yeah,
the possible future clinics. And bless to all of you. Pass on my best to Helena.
I will do.
Love you both very much. Take
You too,
care.
Mabel.
Thank you very much. And if you've enjoyed watching and listening this today, then please like and share this podcast of Being Human. Thank you, Yope.
Bye bye, then.